What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 6 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, poor old Danny boy was sent packing as his faction was destroyed, both by Tamurkhan and by Slugblister and Epidemius, who now has more or less a full stack. Of course, and this stack will need many an adjustment as we move forward, but it's certainly strong enough to fight by itself without intervention. Slugblister is going to stay together with Epidemius for now, though we'll see what we do with him later, as he, probably will get some more demon units. And more likely than not, regardless of the fact that we have Plagueist on him, I think we'll probably evolve him just because we can get Plagueist on the Plague-ridden. But anyway, getting a little bit ahead of myself. What we're going to do this time around is land and start attacking the Masters of Innovation and the Ice Court here, taking all of their territories, and starting on Tamurkhan's path to Nuln. This campaign cannot be considered won and concluded until Nuln is taken, and to be fair, it is part of the long victory condition as well. So we're well on the way, though we've got a long way to go. And we got a lot of armies to try out, so we gotta kick our economy up in order to start sending chieftains into separate armies to do their thing. Anyway, let's see what we gotta do this turn before we get on going. Nobody other than Berthold Kazlane needs to move. You, sir, are going to go north and join Epidemius. Despite the cost, I'm tempted to summon a hero of the exalted hero variety just to send them down southward towards Kugath. We don't know when we'll be able to confederate him, but somebody has to find him. We can always delete the hero later, so I think we'll do that. Costly though it may be, and will put us into negative once more, but the earlier we get Kugath on field, the better, right? Makes sense to me. Let's see if we've got any buildings to be building, and then we can proceed to the next turn. Yes, Ice Spewer and Blizzard Peak. You're unfortunately still too close to Grimgore's location, and while I would love to invest in you, I just don't think we can. It is relatively cheap to build a cultist camp here, however, so we will build that salty camp, and we'll hold off on the Hall of Hosts just because we don't know. Gallows Tree. Have you gotten that plague on you yet? No, until the plague spreads here, we ain't building that gallows tree, because look at the ridiculous cost of it. I mean, that's pretty intense. Dragon's Death and Floating Mountain both do now have the reduction. At 3.1k. It is expensive, admittedly. I guess we build, yeah, fine. We'll build the Nurgle Thicket here so that we can upgrade the Cultist Enclave and then reduce the construction cost of everything else, hopefully while the Plague is still up. Now, speaking of the Plague, I'm wondering whether it might be beneficial to hit Grimgore with a plague, specifically the attrition plague. Casualty, all units suffer attrition, and let's see, battle healing cap reduction, what else do we have here? Ammunition, melee defense reduction, wins of magic cost, weapon strength. There's certainly some stuff that we could annoy the enemy with here. And the only thing I'm worried about is what might happen is we hit Grimgore with a plague that causes attrition to his army, and then immediately he spreads that plague to one of our territories, overwriting our better plague. As I recall, plagues can overwrite each other, and that's not a good thing for us as the construction cost is quite valuable. I think we're going to have to let Grimgore go then. Unfortunate though it may be, it will mean that he hits the War Host of Jar, but if he basically cripples the faction, we'll just destroy them ourselves. As in, if they have no more towers, then we'll destroy them and take their stuff. As if they have no towers, we wouldn't be able to get units out of them anyway. Anyway, I believe we're good to end the turn, or at the very least I imagine so. I'm not going to bother with Diplo this time around. We'll wait on that. Let's end the turn and let's proceed. While the turn is ending, looks like once again we did manage to reach the engagement threshold, so this will be an hour-long episode, and the engagement threshold still stands 350 likes. And, ooh, Malachi's up. 350 likes and whatever it was I said, 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Fealty increased for Ketsak, that's great. Oh, hello, what do we have here? Though your brutal conquest is carried out in the Lord of Decay's name, faith among your chieftains remains divided. Khazak the Befouled curses Mournhowl for not committing himself fully to your foul patron. The Werekin's nihilism shames him, Khazak claims, and so shames you as well in the eyes of Nurgle. Filth on the Prowl gives us Nurgle corruption. We can get 3 dominance, quash the argument, or get a little bit of extra fealty out of Mournhowl. I'm tempted to say that the dominance actually has more value to us. Yes, fealty is great, but the fealty will eventually get maxed out regardless, right? I mean, it'll deal with itself, and while this is solid, we can get this to get our next chieftain up and running sooner. So I'm gonna say put a stop to this nonsense and silence any further religious debate with brute force. And hello, what do we have here? Siding with Mournhowl over the zealous Khazak has upset the Urfather. What? Technically, we didn't side... Like, whatever. Corruption wanes as Nurgle's gaze shifts from Tamurkhan. We didn't side with either. We told them both to shut up. Well, whatever. Whatever. Tamurkhan. Ah, damn, I was really hoping that you could land here at Malachi. I was curious about what his defeat trait would be, but it looks like Throg is gonna reach him. Not that that's a big deal, mind you. We'll let it go, and we'll land at the Frozen Landing instead. Savage Savant aligned for Ketsak. We got Pestiferous Life now as well, and our plagues do keep on spreading, which is solid. Go to the shipwreck, please. Explore the island. We'll auto-resolve this little quick fight. Take a teensy bit of damage, but not a big deal, and we certainly needed that money, so we'll continue taking said money. Come on, give us an 8k after that as well. Uncle for Uncle is up and running. 8k, swell. To the Frozen Land. Now, we can't reach this, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we can't. Or at the very least, it's a moment. I was thinking this guy might be able to reach it, but no, it looks like we can't. So, Frozen Landing we go. And we'll declare war on these guys. I don't think, though we should probably check. I don't think they have any allies, and in fact they do not. I guess we won't know what Malachi's defeat rate is. Oh well. Land, and wait for a user to land as well, so that we can leech the XP. Hopefully Tsarina Katrin's full stack is around here. I imagine since these guys just lost Fort Dwarslav, that's probably where her main stack is. So, I'll resolve this, a little bit more damage, and I guess we'll keep the place so occupied, rather than whatever else. Another level for you, sir. And we're good to go. Should probably make sure to take Yetchich before Throggy moves up here. I imagine he should go for the Lair of the Troll King, but you never know what these guys will do. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Next up, Slug Blister and Epidemius. You guys have to travel now. March stands for you. Start moving towards the Bilious Cliffs. The both of you together, with the exception of Ezar, a Doombolt, well, now you know what, keep leeching XP from these two for now. I was going to have him, join one of the other chieftains in an army, not in this army, because Epidemius doesn't need any help from chieftains. But I think perhaps we can do that a little bit later. Anyway, heroes, start moving southward, you got places to be. So get to those places, and everybody else is good to go. So building. Grimgor is nowhere to be seen, but is most likely sacked the granite spikes, or will do so next turn. Let us get our technology up and running. Creeping Corruption gives us Nurgle Corruption in all provinces, which is fine. Foster Cult's Commandment and additional chance of plague spreading ain't bad. I think I was looking at something in the military thing. I don't really care about Summon from Beyond because it's only for faction leader. This buff's great on clean ones. This buffs plague ogres and beasts of various types, but is relatively useless to us right now. This does buff cavalry. There's some decent buffs in here. Ooh, Rot Glorious Rot is for all armies. That might be nice. I'm not 100% sure about the investment in this, at the current time anyway. Let's ignore Creeping Corruption. What are the capstones here? Infection costs to create plague reduction and chance of plague spreading, nice. More duration, more stuff for plagues, basically. Gain 50 treasury each time a building cycle completes. Ooh, basically permanent income. That's not bad, especially as our empire gets bigger. Construction costs for infrastructure, infections when plague is spread to owned regions. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Lord and hero ranks, construction costs for military, greater gate of Nurgle for cultists and garrisons, upkeep reduction, faction-wide everywhere. Yeah, I think I like the stuff here more than I like the military stuff. I'm not gonna lie. So we have to pick a side. Is it upkeep or is it infections and economy? I mean, upkeep would also lead to economy. Our cycle cost and cycle time for advanced military buildings. Population surplus 1 for newly captured settlements. That ain't bad either. I'm inclined to say we go up this side. Mostly because I feel like there's more stuff that's useful on the way to the capstone in the left portion of the tree as opposed to the right portion of the tree, though they're both good. We gotta get some research up and running. I don't even know how Nurgle gets research. Do we have to summon a Chaos Sorcerer and have them steal tech? Is that... Ooh, I see Serena Catrin, though. Do we have to summon one of these guys? Is that it? Let me just see here. Do you have steel tech? Yeah, you do have steel tech, so it's these guys. Oh, wow, you have a lot of levels. You know what, let's get Rancid Reach on you. I do like the idea of the Aura of Pestilence, and because of the -5 melee attack, especially combined with the high melee defense of Nurgle, plus in combination with the Glittering Scales, will be just massive. On the other hand... maybe that is nice. Well, let's see. The aura is actually fairly short range. Rancid Reach is also short, or Rancid Reach, slash Pestilent Decay are also short reach. Though on the other hand, this will be an aura that'll be damaging. Now, you know what? I still don't know. Filthy Fighter, weapon strength +7 isn't all that much, all things considered. Sort of just a win harder thing. But on the other hand, it's also got some stuff here. On the other hand, Stream of Corruption. The benefit of that is the fact that we will have a lot of hard-hitting units, primarily Rot Knights and Plague Ogres and Toad Dragons in Tamurkhan's army, and Chosen, which means that they'll benefit more from it. There's some really good options, and you know what? It's good game design, or whatever you want to call it, when it's a difficult choice. Anyway, let's keep on building. Decomposing Swamp does not... oh, yes it does. Burning Monolith. And I was double-checking whether the Plague was present. A Writhing Fortress. Yes, Plague is present. Vile Synthesis for you. More money. Malevolent Mycelium. I'd like to upgrade you, but we have to prioritize money-making for now. Ice Spewer. Don't know where Grimgore went still. Do we make this investment? You know what? Let's build a Festering Pit at Ice Spewer for now, and we'll hold off on the these things. Oh, well, this one's reasonably cheap here. At least while we have the Plague. I'm still gonna hold off. I don't trust it. He will eventually declare war on us, that's the thing. And hey, the Gallows Tree. The reduction is there now, 6.5k. I mean, we do have to get it up and running eventually, that's the thing. 6.5k though, it is a big investment. Let's see if let's see if we have money left over, and then we'll figure it out. And Decomposing Swamp and Cultist thingy here. We don't need Public Order here as yet, and I think we can forego the rest of the stuff, at least for now. Well, the control on the additional infections would be good for us for additional plagues. We do have just enough money if we ignore the Plane of Illusions to get the Gallows Tree up and running. Fine. Let's get the Gallows Tree. We're gonna have to get it up and running eventually. Might as well do it now. Alright. The rest of that looks good to me. Double check Diplo in the turn, and then proceed to hopefully meeting at Serena Catrin in battle. Skip. I also have the Black Cleaver fight that certainly has got potential. And we got to get the Rotting Riders on the field. Oh! There's a Soul Grinder of Nurgle Regiment of Renown? Didn't even know that. Well, I'm excited. End turn. End turn, will the Kislevites declare war on us? Doesn't look like it. Amble Peak has been taken. What the heck? How'd you guys do that? The heck? Ooh. I see the Stone Sky Foothills / Granite Spikes have been taken by the... Okay, wait. Game. Please. Huh? Why did it go to... Oh, that's why. Oh, the Great Unclean One thing. Yeah, you know what? The Great Unclean One. I've decided. Alright, and you, sir, are going to be an expensive one, but, well, that's gonna be fine. What trait did you get? Infections. Gives you infection cost to create a plague for Lord's army. Huh? Is that when we infect this particular army in particular? Interesting. Do you have anything that specifically buffs any kind of units? And just out of curiosity. Fighting Tzeentch infections, it looks like just big ol' sort of buffs, but that's fine. That's fine. At least this way we don't have to make two armies that are way too similar to each other. The concept which I don't particularly like. You need to be able to reach the Bilious Cliffs, sir. Hopefully you'll still be able to reach it if you go into raiding stance here. Let's raid it for a turn and then let's find out. Not a lot of cash, mind you. You, instead of raiding, can go up here, and maybe we'll have you attack instead, in case Epidemius can't reach. Lovely. Food for worms. Carry out an assassination against Hugram's stronghold. No, his faction's gonna be destroyed shortly. Now, Tamurkhan. Cannot reach Yechich. That's not great, because Thragi might be able to, but we can always trade him stuff. Frankly, I don't want to hold all of Norska, so I'd rather start moving on down here. You guys are probably about to fight. Berthold, I would like you to keep an eye on this. And some experience has been transferred to the Exalted Greater Demon. Swell. Yeah, we need to march on down to Serena Katrin. We also need to march on down to Kugat, which is where you're going, sir. Alright, that looks good, and ooh, dominance is up to 7. I hadn't realized that, but we should make use of it. Tamurkhan's chieftains. Last one, Mr. Grukmer Threehorn. Get you on the field. Beautiful. This guy's gonna have his own army, just a full-on beastman army with Pestigors and whatever other units he gets in here, so he's one of the chieftains that will act on his own. Let's give him a read as well. Old and beaten down by time, Grukmer is a Bray shaman born of the most wild and terrible magic. Countless scars have made him tarnished canvas of his skin, marking him as a survivor, veteran of more battles than he ever hoped to be a part of. Really? I would think that Beastmen would hope to be a part of, like, all the battles. But anyway, such endless tribulations have left him drained by fear and the weariness of ages. Yet Grukmer once again finds himself dragged into combat by the braying of his kin. They march to war on the sweet promise of slaughter and meat, and if Grukmer hopes to avoid the ire of his betters, he has no choice but to rush into battle beside them. The heck? A beastman who doesn't want to fight. This is interesting and somewhat bizarre, but interesting nonetheless. Tamurkhan, favorite of Nurgle, I believe, is also maxed out, so we don't really care about it. I guess we put you into Tamurkhan's army. I was gonna pop the Rotting Riders in there, but I guess we'll hold off. Alright. I'm going to assume he's going for the lair of the Troll King. But we'll see. Wait, is he even at war with these guys? Yeah, he is. He can have the Helpit, and he can have the territories of the Great Orthodoxy. Frankly, these are all just on our way anyway. Barbaros, ooh. There is an issue, though. If we declare war on these guys, Serena Katrin might march north towards the Pillar of Skulls, rather than what we've got going on here. Meaning, it might be better to hold off and let Throg have Yechich and simply trade him something else later. So I think that's what we'll do. Let's move you here, pop you into raiding, which for some reason takes all your movement points. The heck? Okay. That seems buggy, but whatever. Not a big deal. Volksgrad is very sparsely defended. I also see a full stack here, which could be an interesting one. You can join Tamurkhan's army simply because we need to keep getting that XP, and then Barbaros Cool will keep following until he can evolve to a Demon Prince. Alright. The rest of this looks good to me. Epidemius is moved. I guess we got another round of building, but it'll be a short round as we don't have... we don't have a lot of money to spend right now. What do we got here? Blizzard Peak. I'm gonna hold off on upgrading anything there. Gallows Tree. Yeah, might as well get the Vial Synthesis. Gotta get that money flowing. Plagues have spread out here as well. Good. And the Skull Road I still haven't decided what to put there, but if Serena Catrin moves up here, we'll maybe want to react to that, so let's not do anything there. Alright, diplomacy. Non-aggressions, peace, no, nothing useful. Alright, skip the rest of this, end the turn, and proceed. Gotta get to this army after all. Will she attack Reikarth here? Now she's moving to Kergvlag. That's good. That's very good for us. Because it's where we want to go. Most likely she's going to react to us in some way. Throggy, you want us to join war. Counteroffer. Yes, but for even more money. Perfect. And that was even more perfect because it happened after we moved. Throg is marching this way to Temple of Heimkill. That's fine. He might die attacking Alexei Pronin here. But Tamurkhan is for now busy. What's the likelihood that Pronin could hit us at Temple of Heimkill while Serena Catrin reinforces? I'm gonna assume low, but we'll see. Masters of Innovation destroyed. Well done, Throg. You're gonna be, hopefully, a good holder of territory. Food for worms. Carry out assassination no longer needed. Settlement receives plague. Ice Fury. Yes, plagues keep spreading. And ooh, Nemesis Crown claimed. The Nemesis Crown has been discovered, and now the ancient artifact rests upon a new brow. The malevolent power of the crown possesses its new master, Vlad von Karstein of Sylvania. Neat. We'll go down there and kill him. You can auto-resolve this. And that basically does no damage, and it also gives us basically no reward, but that's fine. Alright, huh? Wait, we brought a plague with us? How'd that happen? How'd this one spread here? Tamurkhan doesn't have the plague. I don't know how this plague got here. I am curious about it. Ooh, chance of plague spreading for Lord's army. That's also nice. Leadership assigned. I don't care about those particular banners. Keep collecting the income here, though, with the reduction in Nurglish corruption. Unfortunately, we won't have a lot here while we conquer this new territory, but that's all right. Are you able to block armies, incidentally? No, you cannot block armies. Oh, keep heading north and keeping an eye on Serena Catrin. Soon we'll be having a fight with her. And hopefully we'll also soon find Kugath, hopefully before he dies. Although, admittedly, once again, I've never seen him die, so it's, say, unlikely. Oh, Blackrock has been taken. Oh, is Malice done? Are we going to have to fight Slaanesh? Interesting question. Also, I'd like your guys' opinion on that. Do we attack these guys? Once again, I didn't really want to conquer all of this, as I feel like we should be going to the Empire and such, but could be fun to fight Siggy. Not sure. Let's get these guys. Are you allied with anybody? You're allied with Nagaron. Let us ask you to join the war, though they might ask for money to do so. Join the war against Nagaron. No, they'll actually pay us money to do so. Damn, if we had been able to take Black Rock, I feel like we might have been able to force vassalize the Decadent Host by trading this territory to them. But anyway, we'll do this for money.
The gods will.
I wonder if they have an army moving around, they simply bypass this, but I guess we don't know. Go here, Epidemius. What? Who did I just declare war on?
You have a proposal.
Oh, I declared war on Nagaron. Whoops. Okay, well now let's declare war on Malice. My bad.
You have a proposal. Good.
Oh, they'll give us money for this as well. Well, they're not avoiding that one, I guess. Go here. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to destroy the cult as well, but what can you do? Oh, no, wait, Epidemius, you do it. Oh, he's got 2 full stacks here, though they are damaged. Auto-resolve. Teensy bit of damage, and sorry, Malice, I was hoping we'd be able to face you in battle, but oh well. Hag Reef destroyed, and we got a potion of healing. Not a bad thing to have on Slugblister, and the Purveyor of Mortality is ours as well. Sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword, but in the case of the Tallyman, the two are equally dangerous. And I assume that... Ooh, give us a read too. Did this actually go on Tamurkhan? Yes, it did. Alright, if Nurgle is to gain supremacy across the realm, his most important heralds must work tirelessly to perpetuate the cycle of life and death. Leading by example, Epidemius brooks no idleness or distraction from such serious matters, endlessly taking his plagued cavalcade to wherever wars can be waged and victims can be made, all the while irritably scratching his quill to keep his records up to date. I already read that, so that's why I went fast through that. Let's put you here. And then we'll have to make a decision as to who we fight. Ooh. You stay outside of the settlement just in case these guys suddenly declare war on us and attack you both. Yeah, that's a better way to do it. Also, let us build the money building here, though we do lack the plague to reduce the cost. Ooh, dominance is climbing again, which means more units that we don't have. Beautiful. You stay here. Just be careful. Alright, the rest of that looks good to me. Building buildings once more. A little bit of admin in the sort of opening portions of this particular episode, but, well, hopefully it'll be worth our time. Especially as it will allow our our enemies, rather, to gain strength and thus provide more of a challenge in the latter portions of the campaign, which we gotta appreciate. Damn, that Nurgle corruption is dropping. Oh, huh, adjacent provinces are also cut. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, it's Nurgle corruption in adjacent provinces. That's nasty. And not in a good way. Neither Nurglish nor Slaneshi way. Huh, interesting. Let's build a cultist outpost. We need to head down here with another army as well, so we probably will get it up and running relatively soon. Saber Mountain has not had its plague spread, unfortunately. This is all going to be quite an issue for our public order everywhere as well. Oh, keep on building. And Chimera Plateau, any money buildings? No money buildings here, no money buildings here. And Plane of Illusions, yes to the Crystal Spires. Oh, it doesn't have a plague. Okay, let's upgrade the building and ignore the Crystal Spires for a bit. Might be able to next turn or so. We should probably separate armies here and then send one down here to deal with Grimgore. That'll be probably... Actually, we'll have to figure out how we do that, depending. There are several ways. We shall see. Let's end the turn. I just want to get to Serena Catherine, and there we go. We've got army. Wow, she's got a lot of stacks. Will Throg fight her? What will Throg do here? We can freely lose these territories while we claim that... Is he just sort of hiding in Tamurkhan's shadow? That's kind of hilarious. What do we have here? Mornhowl, with teeth gnashing and fury in his eyes, describes the Fimir, Ketzak Fimdirak, interrogating his tribesmen for information and conducting magical experiments on his kin. Ketzak claims the Weirkin must be hiding something, and though his methods of investigation may seem extreme, he only means to find out what that thing is. Side with Mornhowl gives us additional dominance and another unit versus 5 fealty with Ketzak. But once again, I feel like the fealty is easier to acquire, isn't it? I mean, I suppose winning battles gives us dominance easily, but we still need a lot more dominance. And the fealty will all climb just by virtue of defeating enemies. So I'm gonna say side with Mornhowl. Assert your authority over the meddling Fimir. Ambusher discovered, probably far away from us now. Tamurkhan, you're able to reach Serena Catherine. Ooh, wait. Somewhat concerned. Does Serena Catherine still replace whatever you do with Frostbite via her defeat trait, making it a defeat trait that's really bad to have? Like, we wouldn't want Frostbite to replace Tamurkhan's poison, especially as he's really quick as well. I think then what we'll do is, just in case, we'll send Barbaros Cool to do it. I mean, granted, he'll lose his poison as well, and thus he'll have Frostbite when he's in Demon Prince form, which is unfortunate. But I'm still disinclined to lose it on Tamurkhan.
Keep your own counsel.
Yeah, alright, we'll leave Throg to his own devices. I'd rather not risk the Frostbite thing. It really should be optional, like, you know, like, it shouldn't overwrite the trait without, well, an option to say no. Go here. We'll level you up in a second. Bertold, I would like you to probably travel by sea. Go this way. You, just to double check, can still reach Serena Catherine? Yes, indeed you can. Which means we're leveling. Tamurkhan. Go for... I mean, now that you have Pestilent Decay, we're probably free to get you... Armor of Malady will help. Rot Eaters will help, as you're definitely going to have a decent amount of Rot Knights in your army. We'll definitely want Nauseating Mutations, as you will have the Plague Ogres as well. And you buff Plague Ogres more than anything else, right? Meaning we want more Plague Ogres. It's just that this doesn't offer too much of a buff right now. You know what, let's start with Rot Eaters and Plague Ogres. It's also not a big buff for the Rot Knights, but, well, nonetheless, this army will have them, so let's do that. Next up, you, sir. Haven't had a battle in a while. Let's just get you... I should get Deadly Onslaught first. Scarred Vet and Deadly Onslaught, or of Chaos Missile Resistance. You know what? Against Kislevites, this might be quite valuable. Or certainly more valuable against those foes that we were facing up to now. Fleet-footed is unnecessary. Let's get your Relentless Assault. Plus 20 charges quite a bit, though at the same time your charge is already so high it's not super necessary. Might of the Swamp, get your War of Chaos as well. Occam's Mind Eraser, Earthing, Greater Arcane Conduit. Oh, you do have Greater Arcane Conduit as well. And let's get your Magical Reserves. Generally speaking, we are kind of saving mana for Nurglish casting, specifically healing, so... a little bit less likely, let's say, to be using the Pit of Shades, or not Pit of Shades, Occam's Mind Razor. Colossal Strike gives us a weapons damage and bonus versus large as the capstone on Mr. Mournhell. Get your War of Chaos as well, since everybody's getting it. And I still haven't decided on these, simply because we don't have enough, of our Weirkin as yet, in order to see how they perform and compare. Woundmaker. Maybe Deadly Fangs was the way to go, whatever, too late. Uzul, still called Uzul, I still haven't decided on those, but we have plenty of points to still be spending. Curse of the Leper and Stream of Corruption both get spammed, though I think I like Curse of the Leper for the first point. You, sir, haven't had any points yet at all. We could give you Ruinous. Yeah, let's give you Ruinous Wrath for the free enables magical attacks. I'm probably going to go for Chaos Strategist, depending on if we have a hero in your army that gives additional healing for the army, but for now we'll hold off, as it will depend entirely on what army you're in. Hard to hit, Deadly Blade, Foe Seeker, and Blade Shield. Make yourself hard to hit, or harder to hit. And then you, max out Scouting, Devolve, definitely Bestial Surge, and out of these we're most likely to use a Vile Tide, so Vile Tide it shall be, while the rest of the points get saved for this stuff. Oh, interesting. You buff, you buff Skinwolves as well, do ya? A little bit of additional armor. Yeah, but I'm still probably going to keep the Skinwolves together with the Fimir. Tamurkhan, stay there. Barbaros, time to strike. Oh, you have levels. I don't know what's going to be in your army, so it probably doesn't matter as yet, so let's just give you points to your spells, which means I'd say 1 point in Aspect of the Dread Knight just in case for emergencies, Fate of Biuna, and Miscast-based chance reduction. Alright, maybe I should have gone with Corrupt Mage as well. Let's do that. Alright, now you go.
Unleash chaos.
Alright, and close victory, low casualties. We'll have to wait until Tamurkhan arrives, but finally we got a battle. Took a while.
These dregs know not who they face. By our murderous virulence, they will pay the price to the god of decay himself.
Alrighty, well, here we go, an apt speech from Barbaros. Cool, though it looks like we'll have to wait for the reinforcements to arrive. But I'm excited, this will be our first round, our first battle against the Ice Court, and the very first battle will be against the Ice Queen herself. That's perfect, as we have to cast down the Bastions of the North on the road, on Tamurkhan's road, to Nuln. And Serena Catrin is a worthy opponent for us to face off against here, and especially now with her Frostworm mount, that'll be a nice duel for Tamurkhan and for Bubabolos. I think she cast a damaging spell on him, but he just out-healed it. But anyway, we set up most of our army in a, well, infantry blob. Here in the leftmost flank, we have our Pestigors moving with Mournhowl and his Skinwolves, though I feel like the Skinwolves should get Vanguard deployment so that they could Vanguard deploy together with Mournhowl, or he should get give them the ability to do so. Over on the right flank, we have Khazak the Befouled leading the Rot Knights and the Chaos Chariots of Nurgle in, while Bibabolos barrels through the first enemy unit of Kossars, unarmored variety, and heads directly for Serena Katrin and her Frost Ram. Alright, well, and smashes through a few more units. That duel's gonna last a while. In the meantime, we have our Rot Knights charging on, and lots of air on those poor units of unarmored Kossars, and the armored Kossars will follow suit. The Khazak the Befouled led the charge there and took damage from enemy range fire, but thus saved every single Rot Knight from taking damage themselves. Rest of our army is moving on in. Going to be a little bit of a while before they get there, and we can enjoy a few sync animations, hopefully, from Bibabolos versus the Frostworm here. Nice stagger from that maggot spew that the Toad Dragon does. And damn, those are very big models, too. How much mass, out of curiosity? 3.5k compared to the 9k of Tamurkhan on Bibabolos. Yeah, that's a big boy. That's a very big boy. Anyway, these two will be fighting for a long time, so let's take a look at what else is going on the battlefield. We're going to drop a big old penumbral pendulum. This is the bound spell, so it's not going to cost us anything, through a line of unarmored Kossars, as the Chosen and Chaos Warriors alike join the fray. And the Chosen, led by Mr. Gripmore Threehorn, with his 1, 2, 3 horns, aptly named. A good sir. Speaking of Gripmore Threehorn, he has a summoning ability bound to him and will summon a Cygor on the field immediately, not to do damage, but merely to distract these armored Kossars. A little bit of action between our Marauders of Nurgle unit and some Ice Guard with swords over on this side, though the Marauders are doing surprisingly well against the Ice Guard, considering the disparity in stats, especially. Good job to Marauders, though of course the Marauders are getting heals from our casting via Children of Nurgle, so there's that. Over on this side, we have the Pestigors ripping apart a unit of halberd-wielding Kislevite warriors. Shouldn't be any kind of trouble as the great axes of our beast warriors obliterate that basic unit. Tamurkhan has nearly defeated Serena Katrin, and I believe Khazak the Befouled has killed off her pet snow leopard, and is now going to try to chase down her pet hag witch, I guess. A few more hits, and Serena Katrin enters by our blood, so the duel is nearly a loss for her, with no damage done to Tamurkhan, or at the very least, the damage that has been done has just been out-healed regardless. One last parting hailstorm from the enemy hag witch, but now Khazak has dealt about half of her HP in damage, and she'll drop just as her queen will. There we go, final blow delivered by Bibabolos. The Ice Dragon turns to ice, or Frostworm turns to ice and frost, from whence it came, and topples over. Seems like a similar sort of death animation to the cockatrice, which sort of petrifies itself and then, you know, falls over, petrified, like this, or, for example, the Jade Lion's constructs that sort of stop moving. There we go, down goes the Hag Witch, and with that, the battle is ours. Very nice job to Khazak. He works really nicely as an assassin. And while we have been getting Tamurkhan to duel enemy lords quite a bit, once again, he's probably better just be causing absolute havoc in the enemy lines, while Khazak is the one who kills off enemy lords. Still, a nice battle, and I'm expecting plenty more great ones to come, as we've seen plenty of other armies belonging to Kislev nearby. Alright, nice little fight. Most of the damage came in from the Ice Guard, a little bit from the two... Actually, no, not that much. I was about to say the Snow Leopards, but they didn't do as much damage as I thought. Yeah, the spell work coming in from the Frost Maiden of Tempest, and Tempest in particular, was damaging, but otherwise, only looking good. a decent amount of cash as our reward, which is always nice to see, and we'll offer us tribute to take the rest. Our Rot Knights absolutely cleaned house in terms of kills, though the Pestigors did very well as well. Can't wait to see them in their own Pestilent Beastman army. Offer us tribute, please. And out of curiosity... Yeah, enables frostbite attack, so you do get the frostbite defeat trait overriding your poison, and that's why we didn't want Tamurkhan to get that. Anyway, you guys stay right here. I would like to move you both down to take care of Verlag and Fort Dwarslav, even if it means losing the Temple of Heimkel and Frozen Landing, though it does depend on how well Throggy does here. I expect he'll win against this army, though it does depend on whether these two armies act together or not. Can't really expect the AI to do so very well. We can keep the Chaos War Shrine here, and actually that reminds me, we'll... Oh, wait, no, we have the Chaos War Shrine on the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, so that's fine. We definitely want one at least in every army. Epidemius. Hello, what do we have here? War Host of Jar. Okay, I probably shouldn't destroy you. Do we attack the Slaneshi? We could certainly get some fights out of it. On the other hand, we can just ignore them.
You have a proposal, yes?
On the other hand, they are a rival god. But on the other hand, I really don't want to fight other chaos forces because they're too similar to ours. Though, admittedly, that army doesn't look all that similar. Oh, damn, we got plenty of defenses here as well to work through. Lots of trolls and stuff would actually be fairly tough for these guys. I'm not sure. Oh, and you have no mana either. Damn, Epidemius, that's a bit of a shame. Alright, well, either way, let's send them out to sea for now. We could always land here. I'd like for them to actually do something for a bit, but I'd also like your guys' opinion on whether we waste our time going after other chaos forces, or whether we hit civilized lands instead. Minus 60, eh? If we hit Nagaron, we might be able to force a confederation, a vassalization from them. No guarantee, of course, but the possibility certainly exists. I also see Throggy. Yeah, he's definitely pumping out armies. Well, good for him. You're probably going to want to either confederate Wolfric or do something over there now. Damn, look at that. Forbidden Citadel's at tier 5. You know what? Well, let's build the outpost there. We want to get access to Fimir and Weirkin, which you... do we have Fimir here? Yes, we do. Fimir Warriors, lovely. Absolutely lovely. Construct outpost. And you have a mission as well, ally missions. Oh, damn. I wonder if he could had the defeat at Serena Catron mission. Frankly, I should have probably checked that up first. But oh well. Let's say this guy, in case he wins against Throg, though I somehow doubt it. And we shall see. Building to do, and Hordred corrects us to move until we delete him anyway. And go southward. Let's see what we got here. Oh, building-wise. Blood marshes, anything? Well, we can upgrade you at 3.8k, that's real expensive though. Still inclined to prioritize the money-making territories, although these things make money as well. It's just not nearly as much. Let's see if there are any tier 1 upgrades first for the money-making buildings, and oh, there's a big, well, this is tier 1 into tier 2, but yeah, that's what I wanted. You have no money-making building whatsoever. Microbial bug, please. And let's immediately upgrade that cultist enclave. Do we need the next level of growth thing here? Most likely we'll replace this with an infection building later on. It's just because there's no room otherwise in this particular location, and thus I think we can ignore it. Plains of Zanbaijin, this is another control and infections building. There's a fair bit more, though. At 1625, how long do we have the plague for here? 4 more turns. Yeah, just keep it. Keep it. Crystal Spires. No plague on you, but plague on the Port of Secrets, so we'll do you instead. And just hope that this spreads to the other places. Ooh, the duration is relatively low, though. Swelling Tongue, infectivity, 5% spread chance, eh? Does the infectivity drop with every infection? I'm not sure. Just for now, perhaps you can switch again to Plague God's Pasture. Increased duration and spreadability. Frozen Landing and Temple of Heimkel we will not invest in, and thus, I guess we'll upgrade this thing at the Monolith of Bubonicus for more cash, and Fungi of Defilement for ever more infections. Soon we'll have massive amount of influx of infections, which will help us out, well, immensely. Skip the rest of that, double-check diplomacy, and then go to next turn. Fecundites, looking friendly. And they, defensive alliance with the War Host of Jar. Grimgor won't like that. I see World Walkers are around as well, and interestingly, they're fighting Azazel. Go figure. Surprisingly friendly with Throggy, though. I'll keep it in mind. We don't really care about the... Yeah, we care about the Norscan factions, let's say. We don't care about the other Chaos factions, which makes me inclined to attack the Decadent Host, other than the Nurglish Chaos factions. They follow the wrong god. Let's get Military Access Non-Aggression Pact with you, Festy. You are the bestie. And if he loses his main army, hopefully we can vassalize him as well. Just, you know, because of the principle of the thing. I think we should get the defensive alliance with... Oh no, is Volary under siege? You know what, let's wait. It depends on if Grimgor succeeds at that, because if the Volary gets destroyed and these guys have no tower, we have to betray them and destroy them instead. As they'll be useless. We can double check whether Bloodwind Keep is a tower though, because if it is a tower then they'll be fine. And in that case we won't destroy them. It remains to be seen. We can always give them back the Volary if we wanted to as well. They'll probably like that. And the turn. And we do have our dominance climbing once more, and hopefully we can get a few more units. Zatan's going to ask for that defensive alliance. I mean, I guess we could betray that as well. And this will at least give us a vision of what's going on here. I'd like to keep tabs on Grimgor after all. Yeah, fine, do it. It won't put us into a war with Grimgor immediately, but he will attack us inevitably. And that's why we're going to split off our forces very shortly. And now that we can afford to do so and get another army up and running especially. And what do we have here? Charmed Shield versus, Nurgle Corruption plus 10. Yeah, we're gonna get the Nurgle Corruption to undo what that Nurgle Corruption debuff did to us. Terror flies within a dark ravine. Your tallymen sight the pristine corpse of a colossal ancient stegodon. The Great Lizard's presence here is a mystery, but nevertheless it shall become a glorious tribute to Nurgle's love. Oh, this is only Nurgle Corruption in this territory, not faction-wide. But then again, the Charmed Shield isn't all that much either. Frankly, neither one of these is all that great. I'm actually inclined to say the item is better than nothing. Imagine the glorious putrescence that will result from carrion on the scale. Should its rot be expedited, Grandfather will doubtless shower you with rancid gifts, sure. Northern provinces and Jade Custodians confederate, probably considering they're doing bad. Throg, you little coward, go fight them. Stop trying to... Oh, it's alright. He's too slow to actually take anything from us, so we're good. You go here, you go north, you take Carrick Vlag, and I'd be able to push you towards Fort Dwarslav as well. It's kind of interesting how the AI is behaving here, though. Usually I expect the AI to be completely suicidal, but right now Throg is actually following us and trying to stay alive by the looks of it. Alright, a Locus of Virulence completed, which is great. Let's go for Plague Site next, though it's cyst growth and then into all of this, and that we want to get into. Terror Flies receives Plague, good that our plagues remain in spread. Carrick Vlag is ours, we will collect the income here. And, actually the question is, do we keep those? There are a couple of ports here, which will make a decent amount of cash, potentially. I was gonna take Tribe Slaughter and stuff from these guys, but right now, that seems less and less likely. Maybe there's some stuff in the Badlands that will allow us to trade. On the other hand, maybe we could just keep to 2 territories here. Don't have to have them all. Epidemius, I was gonna send you to this mysterious island, and then I guess back if we're going to attack the Slanesh. It sounds like there are other islands nearby. Mushroom Stew. Army will perform better in battle. I think that'll be more valuable. Curse of Cannibalism, regeneration for all unit. Wait. Do Plague Bearers normally have regeneration? I don't remember. Or do we have a buff that gives them regeneration? Just curious here. If we take a look at a Plague Bearer. No, they don't. Good. Good. I'm going to continue getting confused by stuff that's in SFO versus in this. We might have to use Slug Blister to attack Blackrock, though, just because he has more mana than these guys do. I'm also interested by the fact that this guy has stayed in here, and ooh, we might have to build towers, unless they are willing to fight us in the field. We shall see. Alright. Anything else? Slug Blisters stay here. We do have more buildings to build, I guess. I'd love to get a couple more fights. If we can't get a good one, we'll probably do a quest battle instead. Alright, money making. You take priority as always. Ice Spear and Blizzard Peak will continue ignoring you for now, at least until Grimgore attacks ya. Is he gonna win this? He is besieging with a stack and a Wa. You are in march stance, but in the enemy, or in the settlement. Ugh, the defenses of the Volare are kind of trash, though. I wonder what's in your army. You do have another little stack coming in. Where's Zatan? Ah, I guess Grimgore defeated him. Well, good job to Grimgore. You. I'm gonna hope that there isn't a full stack here. I'm gonna march you as close to Fort Dwarslav as possible, regardless of the fact that you will be vulnerable to getting killed. I'm willing to risk this guy for it, just so that Throggy doesn't get it. These guys will probably give chase and retake these, but that's fine, especially if Grimgore dies, as that will work out reasonably well for us. Kirik Valag. If we're going to keep you, and chances are we will, we can immediately upgrade you, as I don't see them taking that from us. And Crystal Spires. No plague on ya, eh? 2 more turns. Well, you still have a chance to get it. We could also just pop a plague into the location ourselves manually. All of the money-making things have been upgraded, except here at the Floating Mountain. Let's upgrade you. Lovely. And we still need one of Dragon's Death, which has not been upgraded yet. I'm gonna take out the Weeping Creepers here, at the cost of growth, and build the money-making building here instead. One day I'll remember what it's called, but not this day. I believe that's it for this particular turn. Let's quick deal, double-check everything. Legion of Asgore looking friendly. You're not fighting Kugath, are you? Well, you are fighting Goldtooth. Hopefully Kugath doesn't hate you. Whoa, 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 whoa. -8. No. Oh, you better not be dead, Kugath. You're losing corruption. I'm concerned. I really didn't think that he'd die. Alright, let's be friends with you. Ecstatic Legion and World Walkers we can ignore. Okay, we gotta get to Kugath. Hopefully he has at least 1 territory remaining. I didn't see the notification that his faction has been destroyed, but I think you don't get the notification unless you've met the faction previously, which we have not yet done. So we'll have to wait and see. Alright, well, other than that, we're good to go, so skip the rest of this. I guess we got a little bit more money, but we can spend it next turn. We may want to... I mean, we're gonna separate the army basically right after. In fact... I wonder... Oh, we're starting to get a decent amount of Forsaken on the field. Now, do we have any Chaos Spawn available? No, still no. Nothing's reached the Chaos Spawn levels, but it's a decent amount of Forsaken. We can start popping them in, but I guess it's probably better to do so when we can actually afford it. We can also get some Chosen in Tamurkhan's army. They're relatively cheap here because of his massive reductions to them. Tamurkhan can also get new units much cheaper, so we will have to trade units. Alright, we'll do that next turn. And Barbaros Cool can simply tote around some of those Forsaken until we are ready to go with him. Throggy, where are you gonna go? What you gonna do? You're not gonna fight all these 3, that's for sure. I'd love to, but we have to take Fort Dwarslav. Wolfric, non-aggression pact. Does not like our strategic threat. Well, that's unfortunate for him. No for now. It just depends on whether he fights Throg or not. Alright, Barbaros, you are... Oh, you're evolving. Go figure. Yes. We were wanting you to ascend. And there we go, our first Demon Prince, and you shall be Norvegicust the Censor Bearer. There we go, very nice. And you can't reach Dwarslav, but, well, neither can Throg, so we're fine. Alright, so here's how we gotta do this. You will have to take Fort Dwarslav on your own. And there's basically no defenders there, so we should be fine. Nemesis Crown has been sealed away, torn from the cold dead hands of its previous bearer, Elspeth von Draken of Vissenland unknown. The Nemesis Crown's corruption seeps out in every direction. Proclaimed too dangerous to ever be put to use, it has been cast away instead, sealed beneath countless protections, so that its wickedness may never reappear. Alright, alright. For those that didn't watch the Archaon campaign, Norvegicist was one of the legendary characters that was born there, and our first Nurglish demon prince there as well. And he was a particularly interesting character by virtue of the fact that he kept getting screwed over. We put him in really dangerous situations wherein he was always forced to fight in, let's say, desperate odds. Now, you are going to transfer the Demon Spew and the Marauders, and do we want to transfer any of the chieftains now? Separate this army? I mean, these guys will also separate probably into a different army. Gulator doesn't need a chieftain, and this guy will separate from Gulator. Now, does Norvegicist have to lead an army with a chieftain is the question. Norvegicist will probably lead a decent amount of Chaos Warrior, so if in theory we could give him Kargan the Crazed and make him... Oh, yes, okay, I've got it. We'll give him Kargan the Crazed, and we'll give him the Chaos Dwarf, we'll make him our ranged army. That'll work nicely. And then the Marauders and the Forsaken will be transferred. So, transfer this, like so. Then, get yourself 4 new Forsaken for as cheap as you can. And just to double check that we got no new Chaos Spawn. But alas, I don't see them here. Ooh, we got our first Plague Ogres. Perfect. Can we afford them this turn? Is the question. Transfer Forsaken. Alright, what else do we have in the army? Well, you'll need Chaos Spawn and more Forsaken, but until you get them, you'll have to hold. We will get 2 more Plague Ogres. 3,000 gold, eh? Gonna need to get another Chosen, I guess. They're quite expensive, but in Tamurkhan's army in particular, they're reasonable. Reasonable. Go for it. And that's all we can afford, so no building. Alas, and damn. Yeah, things be getting expensive now. Alrighty, you need to start moving towards these guys now. Like so. While Norvegikists stay right here because your troops will be expensive and you'll hit Fort Dwarslav and then probably start traveling towards Grimgor. There we go. Separating armies now. Beautiful. Bertold, you are still moving north. Wardred, please find Kuget before he dies. I'm hoping. And Slugblister. And Epidemius. Well, if you're going for Blackrock, we may as well land... And I guess we could land directly in his territory. Just have a stack right there. What's the likelihood that they both attack? Well, no, they're not going to attack us. Go here. And... they won't appreciate all of the trespassing. That's their problem. Once again, they should have really followed Nurgle instead. Alright, you guys stay there and get to work. Let's end the turn. Since we have no more money to spend, end it. And proceed towards the Kislevite armies. Throggy's still running, eh? Well, that's just fine. All 3 of the Kislevite armies are now beside Tamurkhan and ready for us to fight. I'd be tempted to try to have Norvegicus join the fight, but frankly, nothing's been challenging Tamurkhan lately, and now that he's lost a bunch of units, although gained a bunch of units as well, he should have some fun here. Scaling. You are... Sure. Give us money for that. We'll stay friendly with the Norskins. What do we have here? It's impossible to tell if it's his usual madness or a glint of fear in the eyes of Kargan the Crazed that drives him to rant and rave against the magics of Ketsak Fimdarak. Everybody seems to hate on Ketsak Fimdarak. Leave the Fimir alone. Oh, man. Whatever the case, the situation in camp must be resolved before this growing feud becomes a problem. A Balefiend's Place gives us Winds of Magic Power Reserve for all armies and fealty with Ketsak versus 3 with Kargan versus 4 if we get a compromise. Commit to both channeling and directing Kitsek's magic in a more predictably controlled fashion. We gotta go with both. I mean, it's 4 rather than 3 and 3. Ah! Kargan the Crazed sees compromise as a weakness and questions your authority. Perhaps next time your show of strength would be more prudent, for such pandering has diminished your control over your chieftains. That's so rude. Well, what can you do? Oh well. Undercity discovered the Sentinels. Why would we care? This is not our territory. Next game. Oh! I think Kugeth is fully dead. Well, that's a real shame. Plane of Illusion's gonna rebel. Go figure. Go for uncollect income. No, it's still gonna rebel. And we have garbage defenses here. Might have to summon a bunch of Nurglings. Oh, well, fine. Allow it to rebel. Gonna have to switch to play God's Nursery then. And we'll get another building plague up and running, because I think this one's basically done. It's not going to spread much further. And we have to replagonate. More importantly, though, it's time to fight. I don't imagine 3 armies will run from Tamurkhan, so let's... I was about to say let's level, but... I don't feel like leveling everybody, because this has been quite an admin episode. Ooh. Let's get the other Rot Knights. We've been waiting for them. And just to double check, any more Plague Ogres have come available, perhaps? No, no more Plague Ogres available, but that's alright. We're at 2 Pestigores. We can't get more chosen, but I think we can hold off and wait. Time to strike. And you're not gonna run. Valiant defeat, you say. What do we have here? Frostworm, 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 Frostworm. Okay, they have 5 Frostworms. That I did not realize, admittedly. And lots of range units. Yeah, ooh, and they have the Golden Knight. Yeah, this could be challenging. Lovely. Gleaming Pennant on... I don't know, you. Hurt Ogres. Go.
Nurgle's chosen leads you, acolytes. Prove to the Flylord the greatness of this host.
Alrighty, here we go, a challenge before us at last, with 2.5 stacks and tons of elite units, all the while our own army has been reduced in terms of numbers of units and in terms of numbers of chieftains. I'm very excited about this, and we're going to have to play this a little bit more carefully than normal. So, in that light, this is how we're deploying our slower moving infantry, the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle and Chosen of Nurgle, who, once again, look pretty darn fantastic, together with our Fimir caster and our, well, regular caster, are moving together in the back line. They're slow, they will get to the fight eventually, but we're going to have to let them travel. That said, we can't allow the rest of our army to stay with them, as since the enemy armies are moving in to reinforce, we want to deal as much damage to this outside army or whatever, the isolated army as possible. The thing is, the isolated army is primarily infantry based, almost entirely infantry based, whereas the reinforcing armies have those 5 frost worms, among them snow leopard, some things in the woods, a bunch of Akshina ambushers, and lots of stuff. I think 7 lords and heroes across the entire sort of set of armies that the enemy has, and that's actually more than Tamurkhan has chieftains, especially now, in his army, which is pretty neat. I didn't expect to be outlord and heroed, but here we are. Anyway, we do want to destroy the infantry before those big old frostworms enter the fray and start absorbing damage. And they have the Golden Knight as well. The Golden Knight has the Totem of Ursus, and that ability causes any units nearby to be silenced and for their magical damage to be removed. It's really quite annoying, especially if you're relying on casting. So yeah, before these guys enter into the fray. We're going to dish out as much damage as we can. Fast movers, moving out ahead, the Rot Knights barreling directly towards the enemy army. Kazak the Befouled, our Lord and Hero Assassin, towards the enemy Druzhina that leads the Force and Tamurkhan into the biggest blob of enemy infantry he can find. The Skin Wolves, together with the Chaos Chariots, are going to hit the right flank and are going to get reinforcements from our new Plague Ogres. Now we have the great weapon variety as well, so a little bit of anti-large from them and anti-infantry from the second unit of the regular Plague Ogres. Behind the enemy we have deployed our unit of Pestigors, Vanguard deployed with Mournhowl and Grukmer Three-Horn, and together they will hopefully charge out of the woods, beastmen that they are, into the back of the enemy lines just as we move everybody else in. Alright, that's about it for the setup. Let's get the battle started. Alright, Kazak hits the enemy Druzhina and the Rot Knights follow through. We're going to have to get them to charge in through as many of the enemy units as possible so that those range units are unable to fire, or at least as few of them are able to fire as possible. If they want to waste their shots on Tamurkhan though, that's just fine, as he's not really threatened by this unless there's way more range fire. He's a big boy, lots of resistances, lots of healing and effective HP after all. Alright, the Rot Knights are in. Kazak the Befouled is working on the enemy Lord, who is in very bad shape already, and will probably go down in a few more hits. Kazak's got very nice stats with 79-96 as well. Get one more hit in there. And assassination complete. All the while the Rot Knights fight right beside him and have achieved a little bit of support from those Plague Ogres. I still haven't decided just how many Plague Ogres we're going to have in this entire army. Going to be at least 4, maybe 6 if we can make enough room for them. Because we still need heroes, we still need Toad Dragons, we definitely need Rot Knights for Kazak, who is Tamurkhan's cavalry commander, to actually command. There we go. Keep it up, Plague Ogres. Back here, unfortunately, our units of Pestigors have suffered a lot of damage. The enemy did use a Fear of Eramar on them as they were taking damage, and that's minus 24 leadership, causing them to rout, though with their low HP, not surprising. The enemy's most isolated units on the right flank, a unit of Khazar Spears and regular Khazars, have collapsed under the ministrations of the Chaos Chariots of Nurgle and the Skin Wolves as well. But once again, it is kind of frustrating that the Skin Wolves can't travel with Mournhowl because Mournhowl can Vanguard deploy, and they cannot. Once again, I'm gonna have to double check that maybe he has something in his tree that will enable them to Vanguard deploy, because that would be swell. Although he is doing just fine by himself here, just to ripping apart some of those Regiment of Renown units of Streltsy with a little bit of help from Grukmer Three-Horn rather, and now from the Plague Ogres with great axes as well. Our rightmost flank is in trouble, but here comes the rest of the enemy army. The Golden Knight and all the Frostworms are in. And once again, damn, 5 Frostworms. It looks like the Kislevites are just fine pulling the Total Warhammer 2 elf strategy, which is build 20 dragons in a stack or 19 dragons in a stack. Certainly have seen this type of thing before. And I suppose, funnily enough, when Total Warhammer 3 was just released, for those that watched my Boris Ursus campaign, which has been one of my favorite campaigns of all time, despite not being an Immortal Empires campaign, the ogres there were the only time, thousands of hours since then, that I've ever had an ogre AI be an actual threat, and it was an absolute menace, just constantly building tons and tons of stone horns and iron guts, but just ludicrous numbers of stone horns. It took quite a lot of effort to work through, and I feel like I haven't really seen stone horns from the AI basically ever. Can AI ogres even build them anymore? Is it because they need a high level of ogre camps to build them? The ogre camps just die too often? That might be the case. And it's sort of similar to the beastmen, who I never see Gorgons and Jabberslights because the AI isn't capable of building them, I guess. because they have to be acquired via dread and it just doesn't? I don't know. I don't know. Well, either way, that aside, we've got this battle to still fight. Several of the Frostworms have now been heavily damaged, and it looks like this one overrun and destroyed by our units of Rot Knights. And we'll once again turn into ice and collapse. Hopefully its collapse doesn't crush any of our Rot Knights. Yeah, you okay, buddy? Yeah, no stagger on the Rot Knight kit. Looks like it's fine. This will allow the rest of our Rot Knights to peel away and head into the back line of the enemy, sort of moving along like this to prevent the enemy range units from continuing to fire. They did annoy our Chaos Sorcerers of Nurgle a little bit. Otherwise, we're looking pretty good as the balance of power shifts to about 60% in our favor, though we have started to take quite a bit of damage on a few units, namely our frontliner Chosen and Chaos Warriors. Though damage doesn't necessarily mean damage that will be kept. For example, these guys have lost 30, maybe 40% of their HP, but have only lost 1 unit so far, which means that they'll heal to full after the battle. Assuming, of course, they don't lose tons more units. Tamurkhan continues to rampage, Bubabolos continues to rampage, and is trying to dish out damage / distract as many of those enemy Frostworms as possible. Mostly because Kha'Zix the Befouled is chasing around enemy lords and heroes, and is in fact at the current time dueling the Golden Knight. Alright, though it looks like a Frostworm wants to interfere with the duel. The Golden Knight is down to about half of his HP, and Kha'Zix is more or less still fine, outstatsing the Golden Knight fairly significantly as well. And by the looks of it, we'll be bringing him down within the next few hits. Golden Knight has a fantastic model, though. There's some glorious armor. Alright, but it won't be too glorious for too much longer as the bounce power shifts to about 90% in our favor and by our blood begins to activate. A couple more hits. And it looks like Tamurkhan wants to finish the Golden Knight off. Bubabolos jumping in and crushing him as the battle ends. Absolutely perfect. After all that work by Kha'Zix. But Tamurkhan gets the credit. Anyway, with that, we are going to give chase to as many of the enemies as possible. There's a bunch of Frostworms that are probably going to escape the field of battle, and frankly, I would say that a lot of the enemy army is going to escape, generally speaking. But nonetheless, we did well. We did well. Lots of damage, about 50% HP to pretty much our entire infantry line, but that's expected, and I'm sure a lot of that will heal, while our single entities continue to heal post-battle via the, well, healing. Heroic victory at that, but not surprising, considering what we were facing off against. Ooh, alright, there we go. An actual challenge for Tamurkhan's army at last, and a glorious battle. So darn many Frostworms to contend with, and our rewards were commensurate with the effort. Plenty of XP, leveling Tamurkhan up a couple of times, a decent amount of favor, also 69, 39, nice, and even more favor after it. Actually, surprisingly little Devour Captives available to us. Now, we got plenty of work for our brand new Plague Ogres and our old Plague Ogres alike, and they did plenty of damage, though not nearly as much as our Rot Knights, who are absolute heroes. The Chaos Chariots did surprisingly well, though the rest of our army did take a little bit of time to close the distance, as the Chosen and the Chaos Warriors are rather slow. I mean, I like them in the army for now, but I'm thinking that perhaps maybe later on we don't even have any Chosen in the army at all. It's just that they're really slow. On the other hand, I suppose they could travel, like, if we keep, like, 4 Chosen, and they could travel with the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, we still need room to put in more Ogres and a couple of Toad Dragons, though the number of chieftains will decrease in this army, obviously, as we send them to join other armies and buff them up. But anyway, an absolutely glorious fight. We'll take the money as we do. And we can delete the rest of the enemy armies. Also, where did Throggy go? Did Throggy get deleted? Throggy? Mr. Throgman? Okay, I don't know where he is. And it looks like this guy's gonna capture Prague, but you know, maybe that's not such a bad thing. Depending on how we look at it. If we take a bunch of territories, but then allow Throg to essentially create a barrier between us and the enemy, that might have a decent value as well. Anyway, Tamurkhan, hunt down and kill the rest of these armies, would you? Out of resolve. Hopefully this doesn't hurt us too much. And can't heal up, so we'll continue. One infection. Continue taking the money. I'm glad Serena Catherine isn't here. Yeah, we're gonna need another lord for the time that we defeat Serena Catherine again. That's gonna be kind of irritating. As otherwise Tamurkhan will be forced to have Frostbite again. And it's not that it's horrible. Ooh, nice amount of money out of that. And it's not that Frostbite is just horrible, it's just that it's worse, I would say, than the poison application. And if we were to overwrite the poison, I'd overwrite it with armor sundering, and certainly not frostbite. Anyway, Tamurkhan, go to the edge of the territory here. We'll take Navkazi and then Volksgrad and Yechich, hopefully before Throg's armies do. If we could get a military alliance with him, I wonder what the likelihood of borrowing his armies would be, because this isn't his main stack. This one's probably worth around 80, though, because it's nearly full. I wish it would say how much it was preemptively, but nonetheless. Tuskor Chariot for Grekmort 3 Horns, swell for him. Kidnapper for Tamurkhan, and that's about it. For Dwarslav, we'll have to wait, although I'm pretty sure you can take it. And you will get your first, soul grind. Oh, 700 gold per. Okay, no, you're not gonna get it yet. It's too expensive for now. You can win this without. In fact, you should be able to auto-resolve it either way. Yeah, just auto-resolve it. Probably put some barriers on you, occupy the place for now, and I'll give him some items shortly. As well as those items aren't worth our time. And there we go, with that, the Gorimodni Mountains are secured. We'll pop that Plague God's Nursery up here immediately, and start building it up to make us decent amounts of cash. Otherwise, we're out of time now after that long battle, so I'm going to call the episode here. We'll continue traveling down to Kugath, though I fear that he might have been knocked out by Greece's Goldtooth. His plagues do remain, so perhaps, though it is concerning that Greece is essentially moving away from him. And yeah, damn, I wonder if these guys have been powered up by the addition of them being our new, did this get sacked or was it always tier 4? By the addition of them being our main targets. Oh, Kugath. I really should have sent a hero down there from the very start, but oh well. If we have to use the mod, we'll have to use a mod. For now, though, we will end the episode next time. More fighting with Kislev, and our armies are starting to separate, and probably 99% likelihood we attack the Decadent Host as well. Though it'll be a toughie. No hell cannons on them, though. I'm just wondering whether we should try to declare war on them and then bait them into fighting or something so that we can destroy these guys out here. They do have a lot of territory as well, so they'll be sailing all the way out here, but, well, what can they do? Or what can we do? Anyway, I'm rambling. More Tamurkhan to come. Stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.